Welcome back to Cafe Racer Garage. I am Dan, and today we're going to work on the Honda CX500 Scrambler. Now this bike is an absolute blast to ride. I love this thing. However, I can't see behind me because I don't have any mirrors. So let's change that. The first thing that I've got to do is obviously cut a hole here to allow for the mount to go through. In that process of doing that, I think what I will also do is close this gap here. I think the sleeve that sits just over the top of the handlebars, which this grip sits on, is a little bit overhanging, so I have a little bit of room to pretty much trim that back to close that gap. So I'm assuming that most of you may know this trick already, but for anyone who doesn't, the easiest way to get a set of grips off a handlebar is with compressed air. So as you can see, the sleeve overhangs the end of the handlebars quite a bit, and there's a reason for that. But what I'm going to do is just trim it back just ever so slightly, and then also move the handlebar in a little bit. Before I do trim it, I am going to probably move this back ever so slightly and see if I can, minimize the amount that I need to cut off the end. But you've got to be careful. Obviously, this is going to start sweeping down, and this is very close between the bottom of this here, the gap between this and that. Main thing to take note here is just to make sure the handlebar sticks outside of the sleeve, so that obviously when this throttle turns, that it's not going to obviously rub on the new mirror that you put in place. So these are the components that it comes with: the nut, obviously the rubber, and the bolt that goes through, and two washers on either side. I'm going to upgrade these to something a little bit heavier duty than that. I'm going to use a Dynabolt style. So basically that goes on there, and then that guy. And once you do that up on the inside, this splits, it opens up, and obviously keeps it in there a lot better than just a little bit of rubber. This will still work, but I just feel like I want to upgrade it a little bit stronger. So the options are, you can obviously install that on the inside of the tube on the handlebars, or you can actually use the sleeve that it comes with and put that over the top of your handlebar, and obviously have it mounted that way, and just do up that nut there, and then that will actually clamp down on the actual handlebar. I don't want to do that purely because I don't want to bring this any further in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly what I was originally planning and put it on the inside using that Dynabolt style mounting. So unfortunately, the diameter in this is just a little bit too big to fit inside that handlebar hole. I could do two things. One, I could shave this down. This is bare aluminium, so that's probably what I will do. The other option is obviously drilling this out ever so slightly, but that's all coated, so I'd rather leave that alone and just shave this down. So in regards to placement, that actually worked out quite well. I can see clearly everything behind me with my arms up here, so it's not obstructing it at all, which is exactly what I wanted. And the other thing that I really wanted to make sure of was, when I mounted it, I didn't want it sticking out too far. Obviously that's why I chose these mirrors. I didn't want it further than the actual handlebars much. At the moment, as I mounted it the way I did, by having it going inside the actual handlebars, it's pretty much 1 inch extra on each side. Had I clamped it on the outside of the actual handlebars, I would have brought that in a little bit. So there's a couple of options for you if you do want to mount mirrors to a set of handlebars like this and use these style of mirrors. Hopefully that was helpful. So have an amazing day, and I'll chat with you in the next video. So one question before I go is, what style of mirrors do you prefer? Do you prefer the ones that sit down like this, or the ones on the side, or the ones on the top? Leave me a comment and let me know.
just when you thought it was the end of the video, I have a little bit more to add, as you can see. It'll be interesting to see how many people actually leave me a comment and have watched it all the way through the end and seen this bit. But as you can see, I flipped them the other way. And the reason for that is because I've taken this bike for a spin after I shot the video, and I wasn't really happy with them down in that lower position. And the reason for that is mainly the right-hand side, because when you've got your hand up here and you've got your wrist down, you have to lift your wrist to sort of see this one, and it was a little bit frustrating for me. So although I don't like this look as much as I do in the lower position, it still looks cool, and I have to be practical with this because obviously you want to see, you want mirrors basically. You want to see what's behind you. So that's finally the end of the video. Have an amazing day, and I'll chat with you in the next one.